Render FUD is coming and I will tell you why. Hello everybody, welcome to the channel. My name is Doug and today's video I'm going to explain to you why people might start FUDing Render in the near future and also give you my Render bullrun price prediction. So the first thing I want to talk about is what actually happened with the Render price since my video last week. So last week, which was basically June 29th, we made a video where Render was like $7.10, $7.20. It went back all the way up to almost $8, but then came down all the way to $5.50, $60, which is actually a very crucial price for this bull run. Like, you might not believe me, but if we take a horizontal line here, we can see that this was the demand zone of the big push, which actually pushed Render from the demand zone at $5.50 all the way to a new all-time high at like $13.66, and we came down all the way almost to this demand zone. Like, going below this would have actually made like a lower low, which could be very dangerous, but it was actually needed as well for a healthy bull run, because people have to realize Render from the bottom, which like most altcoins had like December 2022, Render was sitting at like 40 cents. So 40 cents all the way up to $13.60 is basically a 34x, and a correction of 50% after a 34x is very healthy. We saw this last year as well. So you can take May as well for an example. May all-time high, $3. We went all the way back down to $1.24. which is actually almost the same correction as now, because that's already also a 60% correction to the bottom. And then we went all the way up from like 120, more than a 10x to all-time high. Like, this is needed, this is healthy, and a lot of people are FUDing, but these kinds of opportunities are very big, and that's also the reason why I tweeted about it. Like, when we were at $5.95, like, I had been buying for a couple times between like $6.80 and $6.50 actually, and I shared it on Twitter every time. And then I went all in below $6 because I knew we were at the demand zone. That's why I tweeted. I just bought more Render for $5.95. This is my last Render purchase entirely from fiat. So I'm entirely out of fiat. This is everything I put into it. And this time I'm actually gonna check some parameters when we go up again. And the one I have been actually fading a long time is a fear and greed index. Because right now it's max fear, nobody is bullish, everybody thinking this is the end of the bull run, and the bull run hasn't even started yet. So this is on CoinMarketCap, and it's a fantastic indicator which actually should be used way more often, because it has been correct perfectly the last year. So let's take the big correction from May to September. Max fear, Render trading at 120. Then we go up. We get back to extreme greed, Render trading at $5.28. We go down a little bit to neutral, Render trading at $3.50. We go up to extreme greed, Render trading at all-time high of $13.66. We go down to fear, Render trading at $6. Every time it was the fear, it was the bottom. Like last year, September, probably if this had to like the beginning of the year as well, but it only started from like, I think, June or July. But yeah, every time we see extreme greed, and this time I bought in big, very big at $5.95. I bought a lot at 40 cents as well in the beginning. Like, this time when we get extreme greed, it will be probably the first time I'm selling Render, a part of my bag, of course, never full. But yeah, if you want to know when I sell, when I buy, be sure to follow Twitter. It's at the pinned comment as well, because that's where actually is a live action, because of course videos are made once a week. So if I buy on Monday, you will not notice until Saturday. But yeah, and a lot of people are wondering, well, Doc, is Render not going down more? Is there not actually a lower price? Because of course We have been saying the bottom for a while now. I bought like 3-4 times at 650, now 595, but there's actually something very big coming in the near future, and this will, in my opinion, trigger the biggest bull run maybe we've ever seen, which is the Ethereum ETF, which is actually going to launch very soon. Like, nobody knows if it's coming next week, the week after that, but it got accepted in May, the same way that Bitcoin got accepted in January, and then 1 month later Bitcoin launched on exchanges in February, and now they're actually preparing to get Ethereum launched as the exchange as well, because first the idea is to get approved, but then it's very important that it gets launched exchanges, because then the money flow will come in, the hype will come in, and everybody knows if Ethereum pumps against Bitcoins, alts are next. So this could be a very, very big altcoin season. And as well, like this article says, is that cryptocurrency investors are eagerly watching as the potential launch of spot Ethereum ETFs looms in mid-July. As I said, nobody knows when it's going to launch, but there's actually some very bullish news as well, because according to Bloomberg, several applicants are expecting to submit amended S1 forms by July 8, a crucial step in the ETF approval process. Industry experts, you can never take actually these words, but whatever, Nate Garcia, president of the ETF store, believe this could lead to final approval by July 12th with a theoretical launch of week of July 15. So it's coming very close. This S1 form submission is very, very big, so it's just a matter of time. That's when render drops to a demand zone that big, you know the Ethereum ETF is coming, you know the fear and greed is on max fear, everybody's FUDing, everybody's scared. That's when you just trigger the buy, and you buy the red, sell the green. It's not financial advice, but everybody knows it. But of course, I mentioned in the intro something about FUDing and render, so let's move on to why people might actually start FUDing render. The reason is this: OKX to facilitate render token migration to render. So the Ethereum render token migration to the Solana render. So OKX announces support for render token migration following the Render Network's official plan with a detailed schedule. So what they're saying is that the OKX exchange has announced that they will upgrade render to render, which actually a one-on-one occur. And a lot of people are actually mentioning right now, so what's going on to Ethereum on render? Like, a lot of people are actually FUDing that render on Solana right now is better than render on Ethereum. It's not even close. People could be saying, well, doc, render is used by the official render network, but that's not how money works. Let me just explain to you. Render on Solana is a migration token. 36 million tokens from Ethereum got migrated to render on Solana. There was no liquidity backing this up. Like, nobody ever bought these tokens. You're gonna say, like, nobody ever spent money on Solana render. Like, they only migrated there. That's why you see that the price difference is so big when rendered on Ethereum goes up, because the volume is 99% on Ethereum. The other thing is, there's no liquidity on render Solana right now. So basically, if someone would sell $2 million of render Solana, they couldn't even sell it. There's not enough people buying that kind of money. But on render on Ethereum, there's hundreds of millions of volume. Like, that's why render on Ethereum is always the safest bet. Also, the migration portal is open forever. The same way OKX is migrating, you can always migrate your render tokens on Ethereum to Solana, not the other way around. Once migrated, you have to sell render on to Solana to rebuy render on Ethereum. That's why render on Ethereum is so much better, and people start FUDing render on Ethereum, of course, because they hold render on Solana and they know it has liquidity issues. But yeah, when exchanges like Coinbase and Binance start migrating, that's when render on Solana becomes a real render. And that's when you still don't have to worry about things, because you can always migrate, and if the exchanges do it 1:1 ratio, you're always fine. So Render on Ethereum has no bad options. That's why I'm holding Render on Ethereum from day one. And unless that Coinbase and Binance do the one-on-one migration and delist Render on Ethereum, I'm holding Render on Ethereum. Like, unless a tier 1 exchange like Binance or Coinbase does it, it's never worth it to get Render on Solana, because there's not much liquidity. This exchange isn't big enough. OKX is a decent exchange, but it's not gonna be like putting millions and billions of liquidity into Render in Solana. So don't get flooded, please. Don't think you have to sell Render on Ethereum for Render on Solana, because Render is still by far the best option for your money. And now, let's get on with the second part of this video, which is my Render bull run price prediction. But before I do this video is brought to you by Rendy AI, the most promising meme coin I've ever seen on Solana. Rendy has a market cap of only 1.4 million, meaning a 100x would be 140 million in market cap, which is basically nothing. What I really love about Rendy is that they're giving back bonuses, or basically airdrops based on loyalty. So if you buy Rendy tokens and hold for a good amount, like not even that long, 14 days, you get so many airdrops, and the total pool is $35,000 and it's only going up. The beautiful part about these airdrops as well is that the team is fully transparent. They show every transaction and even shown the wallet address which sends the bonuses. And if you thought the bonuses was everything, no, Rendy is even giving over $1,000 each month to their community members. Like, Rendy is all about giving to the people, and that's why I think it has very big potential. So if you want to buy Rendy, know how to receive Rendy airdrops, or enter the $1,000 giveaway, just go to the top of the description and click on the link you like. Especially check out the Rendy buying guide, it's very clear and easy, and you don't want to miss out on these Rendy airdrops, especially when the pool is up to $36,000. So when I do a Render price prediction, I always look at two major key indicators: the current market cap, which is 2.58 billion, and the rank, which is rank 30. Because if we take a look at a historical snapshot of the bull run of 2021, we can see that the rank 30 crypto had a market cap of 7.5 billion, which is already a 3x from here. But everybody knows that bull runs get bigger and bigger. So if we take a look at the historical snapshot of the 2017-18 bull run, we can see that a rank 30 crypto had a market cap around 1.9 billion, which is basically a 3.9x from there. So if in the next bull run, the next rank 30 will do a 3.9x, this is how big Render can actually get. So Render currently at $6.65 with a market cap of 2.58 billion. A rank 30 crypto last bull run had a market cap of 7.5 billion, but every bull run a rank 30 crypto becomes bigger and bigger. So the next one could be 30 billion plus. This would mean a $78 Render by market cap, or a 1200% in price. But of course, everybody knows Render is going way higher. It's going to get top 10. I've been saying this to rank 166, and I will show it how big it can get when Render actually comes close to these ranks. And a lot of people might be saying, well, Doug, I've been watching you for 2-3 months and you've always had that market cap from the next bull run, but it never comes close. Well, let me just tell you something. I've been making Render videos since like 40 cents, in which Render was actually rank 166. So everybody back then was also saying this. So if we take a look at rank 166, 400 million. The bull run in 2017, let's take a look. It's already like 158 billion. Let's say 2.5x. So let's say that's 1 billion. Back then, people were saying like Render was sitting at 100 market cap, 100 million, 1 billion, way too hard. It's impossible. It did it easily. The same thing last year, 120, rank 120, when Render was around like, let's say $1. 885 million. Historical snapshot of 2017, 264, a 4x. So a 4x would already mean 3.2 billion. Render hit 4 billion, and it just goes on and on. But people never have the patience for these kinds of predictions. Like Render has climbed 136 ranks since I've been making Render videos, and people never have the patience. But Render's going way higher, and this bull run hasn't even started yet. But now, let's continue with our Render price prediction on the chart. So this demand zone is very crucial, but it's not the end. So if we would go down, it wouldn't be the end. It would be really bad sentiment. The lower low is actually this. So this is a higher high, and this is actually a lower low. So if we would make a lower low, it's the end in my opinion. But a lower low would mean like $3, and we haven't seen that with big major corrections, so I'm not expecting that. Another big thing I always like to show, a lot of people don't like this, is the stock RSI, which is basically one of my favorite things to show because it's oversold on the major, like it's oversold on the weekly. It's such a good buying opportunity. The last time we saw this was basically when Render was trading at $1.20. And then before that, Render was actually trading at 27 cents. So the greatest opportunities happen here. And people never like the idea, well, Doc, it was oversold and I bought at $11, so now I'm down so much. But the same was here. People were crying because they bought at $1.80 and it went to $1.20. But then it went straight to $13. The same thing is here. There's so much more potential. Like Render can go so much higher, and in my opinion even $100+ is easily reachable. Not financial advice, but can really happen. And then it doesn't matter, it will be tiny again. Like this used to be a very big deal and people don't understand, but this was used a very big deal from 180 to 120. Everybody was crying, everybody is saying Render is done. $3 was the max of the bull run. And it went up again much higher, and this is the same thing because the bull run isn't close. We're in max fear, we aren't euphoric. People, the market cap of 2021 is still higher than now, so we're not even close. So when you get opportunities like this, I buy big. Like, not financial advice, but I just showed on Twitter I buy big. So that's why I want to tell you to be sure to like this video if you enjoyed. Follow me at TheRealDoc on Twitter to know when I post about crypto, when I buy Render or sell Render, and many, many more things. Also, click on the screen right now if you want to find out when to buy Render for maximizing profits. And other from that, subscribe to this channel and YouTube. Until next time.